Today join me with Ravi Prakash, who is PhD in cybersecurity. His rich experience spans across diverse fields like pen testing, data science, machine learning, and metaverse security. Without further delay, let's discover some exciting stuff about the use cases of avatars in healthcare, privacy concerns, and the use of blockchain and data management.
Security in metaverse, security in gaming industry, about some security in even the healthcare industry. And I'm very excited to know and discover more things on the metaverse and gaming industry. So let me welcome Ravi. Welcome to the show. And his focus on cybersecurity, penetration testing, data security, you name it. So welcome to this podcast, Ravi.
Thanks, Adnan. It's great to be here on your podcast. And yeah, so as you introduced me, uh, I completed my post graduation, in fact, in the cybersecurity specialization. And yeah, so currently I'm working on the immersive technologies security aspects, and currently focusing on the avatar security for being particular to the field. Prior to that, as you just mentioned about the security in healthcare and specific the domain, if I talk about like metaverse related healthcare. So yeah, definitely. Recently, there was a research that we published, basically a survey paper. And the survey, when we were doing it, we came across a lot of say, some new insights that we built. It was like really kind of shocking as well as amazing, like how people get into the different newly developing technical fields uh, just initially towards the application side, but not uh, considering about the security aspects of this, right? So as you mentioned, it's like currently, although the metaverse is in the developing uh, domain, but within next few years, we believe like it will be penetrating into most of the fields which we look into, be it like finance, be it like gaming, entertainment, or the healthcare. It has already started to penetrate into this domain, and many more. Right. So the thing is that when we are supposed to focus on the security aspects of this, are we going to focus after it is actually spread in all the different domain, and then uh, we are supposed to notice the security aspects? So that was something which kicked into my mind, and this is the reason I took this particular topic, like security in immersive technologies, as my research area, and currently I'm focusing in this field. So basically, so what happens in the healthcare domain?
Right.
We found some.
So yeah, so let's pick up. Yeah, I mean, I'm very curious to know, like, and as you mentioned, like, I want to add it to there, like, I think the things are going. Thing has to change. Before we've seen, I've been in industry for so long, and from the business side and development side, yeah, you wanted to make an innovative product, but today you still want to make the innovative product, but you cannot ignore the security. Security has to be by design in the beginning phase of all those. So time has changed. We have so much computing power. We have AI and machine learning. So the blast radius of threats and attacks is exponentially has gone way up. People has yet to see. I mean, 2024, this year just started. I would not be surprised, if this goes beyond, because last year we had so many breaches. So, and offline we were talking about. So I know the healthcare, I'm part of that. I work on that, but you're talking about healthcare metaverse. This is new to me. So I wanted to explore more. Like, can you first define us like a metaverse in the healthcare? How is being or going to be used, or what was your research paper around that? And then we talk about security things on that.
Yeah, sure. So what happens is like there are a lot of say scope in healthcare domain, be it like consultancy or basically related to the mental health care or related to some rehabilitation. So
Okay.
the thing is that sometimes people are not willing to like express themselves. If I talk about the mental health care domain, so people are not very say comfortable to talk how they are feeling, or they are sometimes anxious on several things, but they cannot express themselves. And when it comes to express the things to a particular person who is like a person just like you and me, so then it becomes even more difficult. uh, I recall one such incident, like we do recover. I can go like, it can be very crucial topic to discuss, but we generally recover like suicide notes on death cases, right? Suicide cases, which means people are not comfortable enough to discuss their problems to people. Rather, they they prefer to write it down somewhere, right? There are some security concerns, can be like privacy concerns can be there. They might not be say comfortable to say something or express themselves completely to a person or like consultant who is definitely a new person in their lives. So what happens is that based on the metaverse technology, we can build some say virtual counselor, right? You will know like that counselor is not real, but the person will be as real as you can imagine, right? It will be completely say avatar of a real person, and you'll be better comfortable to talk, share your thoughts to that particular person. Also, like, to escape for current say trouble or whatever you are having, we can immerse into a certain domain. There are a lot of research going on, like for peace of mind we have certain environments we can create in virtual domain and all that. This is all about like mental health care, if I talk. Apart from that, there are also things like for telesurgery. You can avail the surgery based on the people or the doctors say sitting in very different geographical region, and they can operate for the surgery, and all those things can happen on the real time. So there are a lot of scope, and there are a lot of companies out there, like good tech giants who are working in this field, and people are getting benefited as well. So
So
that's what it is.
so yeah, yeah, I can see like there are not all humans are comfortable, and it's a solid business case. You have the avatar, and they will speak to it. And even I've seen myself. I go to a lot of forum and discussion. People write so much crazy stuff, and you would not see people saying comfortably on the screen. So I see. So for those people, there is, as I mentioned, privacy and all that. So what you guys are doing it, or maybe on the research from security perspective, right? Uh, so what you're trying to solve and what you're trying to do that, like I get the privacy fees and have the avatar built in, but on top of that, what else?
Yeah, so that's an interesting question as you like come up with. Actually, what happened? So we went through like a lot of researches happening all around the world, in specific to the healthcare domain related to metaverse, and we found like what are the core technologies behind, right, involved inside that. So we
Mhm.
figured out three key components. Those are like kind of crucial things to develop a secure environment. Now, when I say to develop a secure environment in case of metaverse based one, there are the solutions available. Those are not addressing the like security concerns of these three components. So if I get into these three components specifically, what we came up with, so these were like blockchain technology,
Mhm.
then extended reality, and the avatars, as you just mentioned. And these three are like crucial requirement for
So
that.
can you repeat that? Blockchain, avatar, and what was the third one?
That was a extended reality. So
Extended
extended reality,
reality.
yeah. Now
Okay.
the extended reality is itself an umbrella term that covers multiple things. Like we nowadays know virtual reality, mixed reality, and this augmented reality. All that can be clubbed as an extended reality uh,
Okay.
technology specifically. And these three things uh, are the key components to develop these say metaverse-based healthcare domains and solutions. Now, if we look into these three domains specifically and how they blend together, they generate three more domains. If you can imagine, like if we combine the avatars with the extended reality component, it will bring immersiveness. So that's what we talked about initially. Higher immersion will have, the more realistic feeling we'll have, isn't it?
Okay. And this
Yeah.
is all going to be built on blockchain, I believe.
Yeah, and the blockchain is another such component. So if you combine like the extended reality component with blockchain,
Yes.
basically blockchain is being used for the data security part, right?
Yeah,
So
I will come to that. Yep, yep.
yeah, right. So now if we build all that thing on the block, because there is a huge amount of data flowing in this case, right? We are providing immersion. That means you can be provided with haptic sensors, like you can have the feelings right away. You can have the say real time feed of the visuals, and that visual which will be kind of realistic for you, right? So all these things are nothing but the data only, and this huge amount of data flowing in real time requires a huge amount of security as well, right? So blockchain can be considered as a key component for a secure data management if we talk about. And the thing is that these key components can have their own vulnerabilities. Like if I talk about the extended reality and blockchain component together. So for extended reality, we require some hardwares, right? Just like
Okay.
initially you mentioned, Apple came up with their own product, and then we have already these Oculus or Quest. These kind
Yeah.
of hardwares are already there. But apart from these 4 5 giant companies who have say brought their products in the market, which is definitely very expensive for a normal person to afford.
Yeah.
If we talk about the companies or startups, those are gradually growing and just launching their products. There are a lot of hardware vulnerabilities existing in those products. So currently, we don't know whether we are capable of addressing those things or not, or in which context the things can be enough wrong or enough vulnerable to make the threats even more say crucial. So these all things have to be assessed, and we try to like look into these domains specifically.
Yeah, interesting. Now it reminds me, very good point you mentioned here. And before we move on to the next topic, yeah, it's makes sense because these companies are very big and giant, like Apple, Facebook, and all that. Where Apple is a lot more than $3,000. Facebook, Oculus is $400 to $500. But not everybody can afford it. When we had iPad 10 years ago, 15 years ago,
Mhm.
then Android came with the $100 version and Chromebook. Same thing. Not everybody can afford a $700 laptop, so people can afford Chromebook for $100. School and colleges. Same thing with these
Mhm.
devices. I can see where it's going. Not everybody can afford Apple and Facebook or Metaverse, Oculus. So they're going to be a new version of devices. And of course, they don't have the quality control. They don't have budget. So their hardware will be vulnerable, software and APIs, and that's can pose a lot of, and then it will be a variable, so there will be even more
Yeah.
worse consequences if that can hack. So man, yeah, that's like a whole, like we can spend a whole hour just to talk the design, the architecture, the security. But that's, guys, those of you are listening, these are the new areas when it comes to security and privacy. And don't forget artificial intelligence, because machine will learn the data when you start using those devices. That the whole thing. And blockchain, even did not touch it, because blockchain, as he was mentioning about the storing the data, is new technology, and technology when it's new, blockchain will have its own issues because threats will change, and maybe they will launch using blockchain. I don't know. Things will change. The future is changed. So let's move on to the another thing you're talking about, PUBG, the game, the vulnerabilities in the game, like something I've not heard before, and I would definitely wanted to know what are you seeing there? I mean, what's going on in the gaming industry and the vulnerabilities?
Yeah. So when we get into the gaming side, definitely. So when it comes to extended reality specifically, as I talked about, so mainly we know what we know is that augmented and virtual reality. The term virtual reality is pretty much more famous or like more known to people as compared to the others, a bit like mixed reality or the like sorry augmented reality, all these. And when it comes to the virtual reality specifically, you'll find like all these application things which are like how these are promoted is nothing but the entertainment. Bit like you'll be able to say visualize your past or like past videos just like you're watching in the real time scenario. It's all about the entertainment. And gaming sector utilizes this thing very smartly, right? So the thing what happens is that there are collaborative environment being built currently for such kind of information sharing, social say meetups, we can say sometimes, or these games and all. So if we talk about the games if those support this immersive collaborative say domains, they are also found to be vulnerable to such fields. I'm not specifically naming one particular game or say application, but it has been found like cloning of or spoofing of someone's avatar is very much possible. I was going through one of the paper and like research article. If I'm not wrong, it was recently published some 1.5 or 2 years back. It talks about how the NFT avatars or NFT say tokens are possible to be spoofed. So as we already know, like these are built on top of the blockchains, and blockchain is supposed to be very secure at the time. Now again, if that highly secure platform and which sponsors something like NFT avatar, those can also be spoofed. Then the avatar in an immersive collaborative environment with like games or any such thing, how is it not possible to spoof that? And how is it not possible to manipulate the actions being taken by a player or a person in the real time, which they do not want to, isn't it? So these are the factors which must be those must be considered when
Right.
it comes to the like gaming sector.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, while you were speaking, I had a Chat GPT-4 on front of my screen, and I did
Hmm.
some security concern for NFTs. And as you just said right, they literally has spoofing NFT, creating a copy of existing NFT and listing for sale. And
Yep.
different marketplace buyer thinking they are purchasing a genuine FTP and they end up paying. It's like a scam, right?
Exactly.
The scam level is going to the next level. We see the scam today,
Yeah.
and also it's the full list of phishing attack, security vulnerability spot on, as you were just saying. Man, I mean that's the new world for the security I can see right here.
Mhm. Exactly. And when you mention the scam, you feel like you might be aware of, and like everyone knows, the social engineering is something that is this is kind of attack which happens maximum in the field of cybersecurity.
Yeah.
And when we talk about immersiveness, right, you'll be able to like you'll be wearing a headset that will block your say real world environment from your visualization, and you'll get into some virtual environment where you'll have haptic senses and then uh, all the things completely in a new environment. There, manipulating you will be far easier than what happens now, right? A phishing email comes to you and you are manipulated, and you simply click that link. Now if you are in entirely virtual environment, you are not aware of something that's happening in real world, and there such kind of social engineering happens. How easy it will be, you can imagine, right? So there are a lot of concerns which we should be addressing. But yeah.
Right. Right. So I think we can leave this podcast on this note, like the phishing and scamming can be more easier if somebody is in immersive world, in a virtual world, because those will be new type of scam and next level of them. And what you're saying, it will be much easier to fish and scam someone in that immersive virtual environment. And then as the time go on, we'll see what will be some best practices. Like today in cybersecurity, we run cybersecurity awareness training. I did a podcast other day. We were not the podcast. I put a video around issues with AI scam, like deep fake, how
Yeah.
voice, we know the voice has been happening, and now soon the video with the deepfake you cannot even identify the real person and all that. And I think right after deepfake, I think this immersive world is growing where you are actual by yourself, and then how difficult will it be? Yeah, that's like all alarming. But we have seen the technology. There are good guys and bad guys, so we don't know the future, but hope. And with that said, So I've seen people, and even with the bachelor's and master's degree, they come to me and ask me about the experience. They're not getting job. This is one of the most commonly asked question on YouTube, on Reddit, you name it. Everybody's struggling that. So what would you tell them if they need to gain some experience?
That's pretty interesting thing. And like, yeah, people often struggle with that thing. So one thing is that be it like job and be it like projects, even if you try to figure out, you won't find. And once we go for the research for such a developing field, we can have like how to find the actual topic where to get in, because these fields are gradually growing. The best thing that I'll suggest is that getting into the meetups. There are a lot of open source meetups happening, and like when I talk about open source like meetups, you should be contributing to open source project. Like tech provides us a lot than any other field if we can think of. The whole
Mm,
internet is available, and we can go for GitHubs. We can find the
right.
open source project for even every single particular domain, be it like for designing, for development field, for even for research aspects, be it like the field you mentioned, like AI and anything, but whatever you can think of. And for cybersecurity, people are actually running such bug bounty programs and other things. You simply go, and even if you suggest them the bug fix and any such thing, you'll have an experience, right? So experience is not something but I believe you would be getting after getting inside the industry or after having some internship or job. Rather, you can start with your own project, or you can contribute to other projects. You can contribute to the growth of particular organization, maybe through open source or through some meetups. You can check with the people, and that will add up to your resume, right? That makes a lot sense nowadays for industry rather than simply having degree. So I simply suggest like whatever has benefited me is the same thing, my projects and like my contributions. And obviously when I go to the meetups and extend my networking, then it makes more sense, right?
Uh, No,
That's a good thing.
always say that because get the practice of doing it. One of the guests on my podcast say, "Hey, get the habit of practice of doing it. This is what matters in the field of tech." And you mentioned, good. You glad you talk about the big bounty, and seen it a couple of days ago. There are so many them, and so you don't really need a lot of experience. You just need to find vulnerabilities, and that's it. Even if you get things moving forward or not, but you can write in the project your whole process. How were you able to find that vulnerability? For a person like
Mhm.
me, if I were to hire somebody, I need to know somebody knows how things work. It's not just not because then experience, of course, you will get it. But there are so many labs available or subscription in the clouds. One can go and sign up for those subscription and learn about it. So there are a lot of opportunity for the learning. It's up to you if you really want to avail those opportunity. And from the things that are moving on other side, we talked about meta security in the metaverse and security in the gaming technology. That's like again, both things were new to me. And those who are watching this video podcast, if you wanted to have more topics like this, let me know in the future. Leave your comments, reach out to Ravi on his LinkedIn. I'll share those details, and always looking forward for your feedback. And thank you again, Ravi. Nice meeting you, and hopefully see you in the some other podcast.
Yeah, thank you so much, Adnan. It was nice, like nice experience for me.